Sometimes you will deal with circumstances where you will just feel stuck. You feel like you don't have control over the situation and you are within some sort of prison. You are confined and there's nothing that you can do about it for that moment. When it's cold out, there's no one who can just say, I want it to be warm, and it turns warm. In certain places, it is warm. You go to Florida, you go down south, you get warm weather all year round for the most part. A few exceptions. However, sometimes you're in an environment where it's not only just cold, but there's a lot of blockages, a lot of things in your way that you just cannot get rid of. Things that could be harmful, things that could be destructive, things that can impede on your growth, impede on your well-being. It's just I don't know. I've talked about these kinds of things before. When you depend on a system, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Because when you do work, you're dealing with, let's just say there's some construction around you. And you can't like, I'm not saying this exactly happened. There's some work and construction around me, but when there are certain things going on, people smoking around you, what are you going to do about it? You can tell them to stop, but a lot of the time, these smells, whatever chemicals are released. Look up into the sky. Look, it's, these are man-made chemicals that are pumped out into the sky. It doesn't happen really in the summer that much, but this is about the fourth day in a row, and I don't know how many days in a row where it'll be completely a covered sky, absolutely no blue sky, no sun, and it's several days in a row. This happens sometimes in the fall, winter time. There's certain I don't know what's going on, but they're working on a roof, and whatever they're releasing, it's some kind of gas or something that's getting within these walls. So when I was inside this building right here, you could smell it. My point is chemical warfare. All these different types of attacks. These attacks are not just they're not physical more than they are spiritual attacks. I guess what I'm trying to get across here is there are things that are going to happen to you, and there's not much that you can do about it at times. There are things you can control, and there's things that you cannot control. What I could control now is my ability to make this video. It creates frequencies. It creates some kind of momentum, some kind of feel-good energy. You may know what I mean when it's cold and you feel uncomfortable, you feel tired, you may be at work, and there's no new ideas. There are no new ideas. There's just stagnation and frustration, and you don't know what to do, and you're just stuck. Being able to communicate it's something that could be very useful. Even if I wasn't able to post this video to YouTube, just being able to make a 5 to 10 minute video, it increases my frequencies because I'm exercising my throat chakra. A lot of people who do work, there's not as much creativity involved. People are going to do what they do, but I urge you to think for yourself. I urge you to have new ideas, because the more that this system tries to take away certain freedoms and controls you as much as it possibly can, to the point where you can't do anything, you can't think for yourself. They know what you're thinking, they know what you're doing, they want to control every movement, and you don't have that autonomous spirit within yourself that's coming out, and you can feel like a genuine being, a genuine human, or a being of geometrical value, as I like to call it, a being of spirit, one who has a soul. And that's if they're trying to take that from you as much as you can, you got to be creative. You got to find new creative ways to do things. You got to speak on things that no one would ever think of. You got to think completely outside the box because they're going to try to put you in a box as much as they possibly can. And to me, it's unacceptable. Not everyone's like this. How I'm speaking right now and how I move, very few people around me do that. And in fact, I don't think I see one person around me doing this, what I'm doing at this extent. And there's dungeon programming. I just said in the other video, dungeon programming keeps you stuck. Just listening to these words that I'm speaking, this comes from a place where I'm able to move in a certain way. I'm not stuck. When you're sitting down in an office all day, your lower back's going to get harmed. You're going to feel your body is going to pay the price. You need to move. You need to like raise your arms up. You need to extend yourself. Because there's so much stagnation when you're stuck inside of an office and you're all stiff and stagnant and you're hunched over all day just sitting down on these seats. You have to lift your arms up. You got to like extend, do some yoga poses, things like that. Be creative. Be creative. Because, the world seems to be becoming more of controlling you, of controlling the people. And the more that it tries to control you, the more creative you need to be to go with that. Find your more creative self, where you're not buying into whatever they want to do. The more they try to control you, the more, just as much as they try to control you, you have to put that exact same energy out of not trying to be controlled. Meaning you're going to be more alert, and everything that they say, or these forces that try to control you, you're going to be prepared. So now you know to move in a different direction whenever they come at you. You got to be able to retaliate against what can prohibit your freedom of movement, freedom of expression, and all of these things. Consider that. These are certain ways of being, and it's be yourself. Don't live a program where you're not. It's just not coming from you. It's coming from something else. And at that point, you do become like a robot. You do become AI. You do become part of that system because you're not thinking for yourself. Everything becomes about what has been laid out for you by some kind of force, by some kind of being, whatever it is. That's all.